Okay, welcome everyone to the podcast this week. We're excited. This is our very, very first episode. You'll be hearing it on iTunes and on Spotify and the like, and we'll be sharing a link with you all so that you can all get in touch and keep across everything that's happening in our space. We'll also be sharing this via video, so you'll see it on LinkedIn and social media and also on our website. So a really quick and big welcome to everyone listening. This is our very first podcast. We're extremely excited. Opposite me is the CEO and my new business partner, Aamir Qutub from Enterprise Monkey. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Brendan. How are you?
I'm amazing, but I know you already know that. I'm just joking, mate. Yeah. So, folks out there listening and watching, we're going to take this opportunity to share with you probably weekly things that are happening in our space. So Enterprise Monkey is a website, applications and software development and integration company. We also focus on web design, web development, and really at the core of everything we do, I think, Aamir, you could probably expand, but my impression is that we solve problems, especially when it comes to digital technology and getting things within your businesses to speak to each other effectively. I think that really helps sum up, I guess, what we do. But Aamir, you could probably tell people and preface the start of this episode with who Enterprise Monkey is, what we do, and why we do it.
Absolutely. So in a nutshell, Enterprise Monkey is a web and app development company, to be simple and precise. So we develop apps that are web applications as well as mobile applications, but we also develop websites. But those are smarter websites that are just beyond beautiful, and they do much more than just looking pretty. So they are not a marketing collateral, but basically a sales channel that allow businesses to generate leads. And we started this business around 4 years ago, like a very humble beginning from a small garage in Geelong. Now we are in 4 countries, a team of 45, and we are growing at a rate of 200% per year. So, and what we like to do is we like to work very closely with businesses, and especially with the people who do not understand technology. They don't understand it. They speak human languages. Mm-hmm. So we take that human language and then actually convert that into a developer's language and get them the finished product. So essentially, you said it right. We solve business problems by providing simple technical solutions.
Great. All right, so for those of you listening and watching who are based in the Geelong and the Victorian region, we're actually a tenant, and we're based out at a complex in North Geelong as part of an old federal woolen mills called Runway Geelong. And a government incubator here in the startup runway for businesses each year who receive funding, mentorship. They receive access to these amazing facilities that we're recording in. And they're businesses that we love to work alongside and help as well. And what we've found is being part of this environment has enabled us to work with and draw upon some amazing resources in the Geelong region. I think you'd agree, Aamir, yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Geelong is actually evolving from a very traditional manufacturing space to a startup economy, a regional startup economy of Australia. And we are proud to be like a part of this place. And it's amazing that we are headquartered in Geelong, but we have got clients in Canada, US, UK, and we are sort of, with the help of data technology, it feels like that we are up close with them and working with them, all the time.
Great. All right. So enough about us, but we just thought it was really important as part of our exciting first episode to tell you all who Enterprise Monkey is, what we do, why we do it, and where we're based. So we're really passionate about Geelong. It's an up-and-coming digital and technological region, and we're so excited to be a part of it. So that brings us, I guess, to the next part of our very first episode, and that is, of course, the topic and the subject that we're going to talk about today. Now, the format for those of you watching who probably haven't heard or seen from us before is that we're going to take a really easy, relatable question that we get on a regular basis here within our business, and particularly around and in the startup space, and we're going to address it together. We're going to share with you our thoughts, what we think is the right solution and answer to some of these commonly asked questions. And we're also going to leave it open for your comment as well. So we'd hope that ongoing, for those of you who like the content and what we're talking about, if you want to submit your questions or perhaps things that you'd like to learn more about in the app space and technology in general, we'd love to work with you to bring those to you as a weekly episode. So to kick things off, Aamir and I were discussing this, and we decided that for the first episode, we'd probably launch with something that's pretty relevant, but also something that we hope we can give you a really good explanation to today so that you'll be able to take home something really cool and understanding. So today's topic is, what is an app? Now, for some of you listening out there, Aamir, and forgive me if we come across patronising or condescending at times. That's not the intent at all. We just want to make sure that for our audience in general, that we cover this from a basic and a simple level, so that it's understandable, because there's people watching and listening that won't be massively technologically savvy. But then there's going to be other people, on the other hand, obviously, that are quite cluey, have potentially even worked with an app or in that environment before and know what we're talking about. But for us, we like to go through the process of outlining exactly what it is. And to help you understand better, we know that that's going to resonate well, and that'll just help us in turn by people seeing that we can get down to their level and explain things. So I'm going to give this question to Aamir, because I've asked him 10 times in the last month, and he gives me the same answer every time, so that's a good thing. So Aamir Qutub, what is an app?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. And as you rightly pointed out, like the way we work in our business is we ensure that we are actually helping people. We are not assuming that people know everything, and we assume that our clients, they don't know much, and we try and train them and educate them. So starting from what is an app? App can be actually a web application or a mobile application. Generally, when people refer to app, they refer to mobile applications. And the whole concept of mobile application was actually not started, but actually popularized by Steve Jobs when they came up with the Apple App Store. And
so app stands for application.
Applications, absolutely. Okay. And they can be mobile application as well as web applications.
Okay, now beautiful.
Now the concept of web application was originated much more earlier than the mobile applications. Okay. So what exactly are web applications? So any of the websites that you use, which are sort of more than just allowing you to sort of like look at the content, are actually a web application. So
okay, so let me just stop you right there. So a really good, relatable example of a web application would be
Air BnB.
Air BnB. Okay, and the reason you say that is because it's not just a static website where you're browsing.
Absolutely.
It's asking you to interact, to make a booking, to chat with other people.
Absolutely. So what Airbnb is doing is that is actually eliminating or reducing or optimizing the whole process of actually ringing, hundreds of people, finding about their homes and finding about the availability, then doing a bank transfer payment. It's sort of streamlining all that and developing a marketplace so that people can actually share their homes and then get paid for it.
Okay, so does an application create an environment for a user? So for example, Airbnb, you mentioned how it's taken all the elements of booking accommodation as singular exercises, and it's built them into an environment where it can all take place at once.
Absolutely. So that's one of the purpose of the apps, is to actually take a process and somehow streamline it or optimize it. So it can be developing a marketplace to enable things that couldn't happen earlier. Earlier you had to sort of call and book a taxi and sort of organize all that. Now you can do it just via Uber, via click of a phone. Or it can be something where you actually optimize your business process. So for example, initially the accounting was done on the papers. You had like those big files. Now what you can do is through Xero, which is an online application again, you can actually manage it all through your computer, which is much more streamlined and easy to use.
Okay.
WhatsApp is a very excellent example of communication as well, where you actually are communicating through your mobile phone, making voice calls, making video calls, which was not as cheaper and simpler earlier.
Okay, so have we answered the question around what is a mobile app compared to a website application?
Not yet. So web applications generally open on web browsers. So web browsers can be Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, or Safari, or Opera, or any of those web browsers.
And they can open on a desktop as well as a smartphone.
Absolutely. Okay. So web applications nowadays, any sensible developer will make a web application responsive.
Yes.
Which means they would be you can actually access them on your phone, on your tablet, as well as on your desktop. Excellent. But they open on browser. So you don't go on an app store and download or install that application. They are device independent. Whereas a mobile application can be installed from App Store on Apple and a Google Play Store on Android phone.
Okay,
and then,
so that's the key difference.
Absolutely.
A mobile app needs to be installed onto your smartphone.
Yeah, and then it sits on your smartphone and occupies the space,
Yes.
whereas the web application doesn't sit on your system. It opens up on your web browser and doesn't occupy a space. So both of these apps, or both of like web app and mobile apps, solve a different purpose. So web applications are generally open, where someone can enter a URL and come. It's sort of easy for users to come and use it. But if you anticipate a user using your application continuously, and if you want to be in a close touch with them, that's when you need a mobile application.
Okay, fantastic. So I think that clarifies for us not only what is an app,
Yeah.
but also the two key differences. So that we've got website applications
Yeah,
and we've got mobile applications.
absolutely.
We build both.
Yes, we do.
Correct. Unreal. All right. So, well, that probably covers off our very first episode and topic of what is an app. But if you guys have more questions or queries around exactly how that can work, or maybe you're thinking that you've got an app idea, but you're just not sure whether it falls into the category of a website app or a mobile application,
Absolutely.
that's something we can definitely help you answer easily.
Yep. And generally, the web applications are actually, so there's a natural progression that you develop a web application first and then move on to develop a mobile application.
Okay.
So it might not be the case of or this. It might be the case of first this and first web app and next mobile app.
Okay, excellent. All right, that's Aamir Qutub from Enterprise Monkey. I'm Brandon Burns from Enterprise Monkey. Thanks for joining us for our very first episode of the Enterprise Monkey Show for What is an App, and we'll see you all shortly. Thanks again.
See ya.